elaborate more on certain principles. We will start again at the beginning of Beis Yud Dalet on page Lamed. Ready? This principle of pshitus ha'oyer, this is a phenomenal union. Oyer is without a tangibility. And therefore, it would be pshitus. But on the other hand, it also has a specific message of chesed and gvura. The specific message is not representative of the oil, it's representative of its source. And this will, again, we'll discuss it further now. Lamaila, we should understand this principle. Based on what the Chazal say, or in line with what the Chazal say, stoik ka'cholam machshav. Be quiet. Do not protest. Ka'cholam machshav. This which you are observing is reflective of ha'olam machshav, the way the original thought, the way it is in the original thought. Original thought is something which you cannot grasp and cannot understand. The l'choira mashma, where it would appear to be implying she'ein lo zeh ta'am klal, that this which you are observing, there is not really any reasoning, there is no ta'am, there's no sense to it. That's what I say, don't ask any questions. Ka'cholam machshav. I'm your boss and you better accept what I say. That implication is false. But in truth, he would blaspheme, as he said yesterday, to say such a thing. That this Indian, that you must not enter into that question, that debate, because this is the way it is in the original thought. It is not b'derech yikshus, it is not in a stubborn manner. I don't want to listen to your question. That's the way I want it. Chas v'sholom. And I said this would be blasphemous to say this. Let me elaborate on this a little bit. It is not b'derech yikshus. It is not merely in a stubborn manner. Rather, there is something to it. And we don't know what that something is. What would be the criterion that would say there is something to it? The primary criterion would be that although you do not understand it, but you are getting a benefit from it beyond your understanding. There's an underlying purpose, meaning, value for you in it. I'm not just superimposing it on it because that's how I want it. That's why I say stoik, you be quiet. You be quiet means it is justifiable for you to be quiet. Because if you're not quiet, you're going to miss out on that which I want to give you.
This was said in a context where what was happening, what was seen to be happening, was confounding any sense of purpose.
That's right.
But the shtok is saying is
do not protest. Do not ask questions. This is the way it is in Machshava, in the original thought. Now, let me introduce this whole concept for introduce. Not that we can understand, but just contemplate it from our vantage point. As we said many times, going back to the Rambam, there's a Motzui Risha in a first being. In our thought process, we cannot relate to the concept of our first being. Everything has a cause. Why is it there? Where is it coming from? There's a completely different dimension of truth that cannot be put into the model that we think with. Since it cannot be fit into our model, therefore we cannot begin to understand and to relate to it from our vantage, from that model perspective. And yet, it is the intent of the Creator that we should have even that which we cannot relate to. We should have a truth beyond that which can be described in worldly terms. It begins with the word Motzurish. And as it says in the Chumash, Beis is the beginning. What is the first principle that you have to understand? Is Bara Lakim the Shemayim V'Safet. The Shemayim V'Safet, you're going to understand what Shemayim V'Safet is. Stoik, you were completely off target. This is a godly creation. Do you understand God? That's how well you understand the creation. You want to understand it, you have to understand it the way it is being presented to you. And then you will be able to understand it, then you will be elevated to see something which is beyond your natural vision, natural form of vision. You will be able to see it from the vantage point of a Motzurish. This is the shtoik. You want to understand it, they should fit into your thought process. Shtoik. Don't go there. Not because I don't want you to go, I don't want you to ask me any questions, but because I'm trying to provide for you an insight that is beyond that form, that model. This is represented in the original thought before the creation altogether. And this is what the Rebbe is going to elaborate a little bit. Right. At the end of the second line on this Yudalit, it is not b'derech ikshus chas v'sholom. B'derech ikshus would mean I'm your boss. You better accept what I give you. This is not b'derech ikshus chas v'sholom. Anything that the Rebbe gives us, even those things that do not make sense and that are counter to our personal choice, so to speak, is for our sake. So that we get that which we cannot understand, which we cannot gain access to through our normal process of thought. Just as by Matan Torah, the Rebbe came and gave us a Torah. I want to give you a Torah. Okay, fine, let's sit down, teach me the Torah. No, you stand over there and you will see fire and lightning, and you'll be completely out of sorts. And that's how you're going to see the Torah. At that point, you will have an insight. You will understand how to relate to this truth in a totally illogical manner. Nasa v'nishma. Nasa v'nishma is totally irrational in the worldly context. Elo. Okay, at the end of the second line. Elo.
Yeah, Ikshus was the translation.
Stubborn.
Stubborn. Yeah.
Ikshus means stubborn. Derech Ikshus in a stubborn manner.
Kshay Ora.
Huh?
Kshay Ora.
A hard neck. Elo, rather, what does this represent? Shtoi kachol machshava.
This Ikshus would be is going on the Eberstein,
Yeah.
No, not there. Okay.
Rather, you're asking a justified question, and I say, shut up. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's not Ikshus.
This is the way I want it. All of machshava. What kind of response is that? So this is a proper response. Kachol machshava is a proper response. I'm telling you, I'm giving you something beyond your understanding. I'm giving that which is prior to the creation. All the machshava. Elo, rather, shezeh yinyan. This is the principle that alludes to tam hakomus, the hidden and concealed tam. Tam, as you said yesterday, means taste. The word reason is a poor translation. Why? Because reason normally has a process. Starting from this point, this is how it ends up. That's meant reason. It's a process. This is what causes this, cause and effect. Ta'am komus does not have that process. Ta'am komus actually means this is how I want it. Just like we said in taste. Person likes a certain taste. Is that go through a certain process, or this is how I like it? Is that stubbornness? Or is this real? How can you like pickles? It's sour. It's not pleasant, so to speak. It's not calming. How can you like it? I like it. Go and explain it. I can't explain it. This is some kind of a deeper reality in the person, that he appreciates that type of experience. Anybody here not like pickles? Oh, yes. Huh?
Comme ci, comme ça.
Comme ci, comme ça. As long as you're on the inside. Ta'am hakomus. It is definitely a reality, but it is concealed internally. Shalamaylo mehaseichel ve'achochma, which is above the seichel and above the chochma even. What does that mean? Seichel is a phenomenal thing. Chochmah is the pinnacle of Seichel. As we discussed many times. Even Chochmah, like sight, for example. Sight is phenomenal. You see the reality itself. You're still looking at it as an outsider. You're seeing it from outside. You're seeing it. You're an observer. You're not it. You're observing everything, and it's real to you, but you're not it. Like I said, the illustration of this, you're looking through the window, and everything is real, and you know exactly what's going on. Compare that stepping inside. Compare that to stepping inside. But you're no longer observing everything. Because you're inside, you can only see one thing at a time. But you are a participant, you're part of it. It's a completely different relationship. Seichel and Chochmah, even Chochmah, is still in the realm of an observer. It's a very dedicated observer. With full dedication, full beetle. I'm observing what I'm observing, I'm not questioning it. It's real, but still an observer. Be part of it is a completely different reality. What is the difference between standing outside and observing and being inside? The difference is observing from outside, although you're open-minded and you observe everything, but your being, the fact that you exist, is a separate reality from that which you're observing. Being on the inside is where you stake your very existence with that where you are.
What's the significance of being split like that?
Right?
What's the significance of being split like that? Having your being outside and your experience something separate.
I don't know what you mean by significance.
In other words, it sounds like
When you know things by a koiches, seichel, and midas, you know it, you know the truth, the way the truth is in its abode, not the way it is in you. Because you're not part of it. This is why Chochmah, one of the principles of Chochmah is the name beetle. The only way you can actually experience and get the principles of Chochmah is through beetle. Beetle means, yes, I'm a separate entity, but I'm completely submit to the truth that I see, that I understand. Yet still, that does not make you one with it.
I guess let me ask the question the other way, which maybe is obvious, but what's the mila of being part of it, other than just knowing?
Okay. Anybody understand this question? Very important question. This is a question that stands in the way of our second life of living. This is what we are learning here the whole time. Now there is the Rav and there is the Makabel. There is the initial reality, and then there is the way it is being presented. When the Makabel takes it. The Makabel says, based on the question, all I want to is justify my mitzvah the way it is. I want to make sense where I come from, make sense what I'm here for. I should feel good about myself. I know what I'm doing. I'm accomplishing. I'm getting a pat in the back. I'm utilizing all my capabilities, all my koichos. Which means I prefer to live alive as long a lie.
A lie, yeah.
Because I'm not really, I'm not, it's not true. I prefer to live a lie, as long as I have some good experience, pleasant experiences. That's what tam, I enjoy it.
Tom.
Tam, I enjoy it. So what else do you want from me? I don't see any protest from anybody here.
Hitting home.
Huh?
Hitting home.
And this is what we're saying from the perspective of all our koiches, of all our capabilities, which we relate to which we relate by exposing them, by showing what we're able to do. Let me ask you a question. You figured out something very intricate, very deep, and you did a phenomenal job of it. Do you want to be acknowledged for your accomplishment, or you don't really care? What I found is sufficient for me. Hello? What's the answer? I want to be acknowledged. Why? If the experience of finding it is real, we need to be acknowledged for it. If you eat a pickle and you enjoy it, you want somebody to say, oh, you just ate a good pickle. Or you just satisfied, I ate a pickle. I don't need anybody acknowledging it. That was good, right? I don't care what you say. It's a personal experience. As a matter of fact, I prefer you don't even want to see me eating the pickle. I'll enjoy it better. Sounds funny, but it's very real. Can you get me a tissue? This is the principle of being inside. Being inside is not an experience. It is being part of reality. Reality is infinitely superior to anything that you will understand about it. This is what we are saying over here. This is the pshitus of that which you understand. You understand, you have to make sense of it. You have to put it into perspective and explain it to yourself. The pshitus, this is real. This is the reality itself. What would you prefer? Looking at a pickle or eating a pickle?
It's so much more geschmack to really understand it and have a feel for it.
This geschmack is based, and it is relating to your sense of your personal existence rather than the truth of existence. And in that respect, I'll ask you a similar question as this question of the pickle. If you were celebrated for something that you never did, look at this guy, what kind of business he built up. How much wisdom he has created. How would you feel about that?
No,
Why not?
it's not real.
It's not real. What's reality? It's your experience. People are standing there and uploading you.
Well, isn't your experience also?
Uh-huh.
But you know that it's not real. You know that you also have an experience.
If it were real, you still need the upload. You're getting the upload without the effort.
But I'm sorry to challenge this, but
It's okay.
when you do something, accomplish something good, you feel good. It feels real. It feels like you're real, and you also appreciate, and one also appreciates the.
Why do you
challenge.
want to be appreciated? And on the other hand, I said, what if you appreciate it for something that you did not do?
The appreciation is like the icing on the cake. It's like, it rounds out the whole. It's a full.
I said the other day, you have a five-course meal as part of a wedding, part of a guest. You go and you prepare yourself a 5-course meal and serve it to yourself in your own dinette. What's missing?
There's no significance to it. You're not celebrating. It doesn't stand for anything except your own personal experience.
And what's wrong with personal experience? That's what your question was.
I guess only personal experience is completely empty. But there is a certain mile to personal experience when it comes along with something that's real. I would imagine. I think.
Okay. What this is exposing to us, that in fact we have 2 dimensions.
Human dimension.
We have the seichel dimension and we have the reality. We, in our worldly experience, we relate directly to the seichel. The reality, we don't relate until we miss it, until it strikes us. Oh, this is terrible.
Can you say that again?
Huh?
Can you say that again? The last sentence.
The reality you don't sense until you sense its emptiness.
But it's not there.
No, it's not there.
If Seichel receives from the neshama, how would it be not tied to reality? How would it be not?
It cannot be cannot be untied to reality.
Right.
But not right.
Yeah.
Not right.
Yeah.
In truth, it is tied to reality.
In truth, it is. Yes.
Yeah, but you may be oblivious to it.
And it wouldn't be real safe.
Why? You understand?
Uh-huh.
In other words, the fact that you understand it is important, but the fact that what you understand is true, that is what gives it real importance.
That's the makar b'shorish.
That's right. That's right. That's makar b'shorish. This is the human being. This is, in fact, the whole conflict. What's going on? Where are you going? This is fantasy, pshitus. You don't understand it. So what's the point of it? Wait a second, but that's the truth. I want to be related to the truth. I want to be an observer. I want to be a participant.
I don't want to just have my experiences. I want to have.
In other words, that which I get through my koiches as an outsider is great, provided that ultimately it leads me to a path to become an insider. But if I'm going to stay an outsider and going to mimic the reality, that's not good.
And just to close the circle here, we got into talking about insider and outsider because how did that relate to what we said inside?
Stay kachol b'machshava.
Yeah.
Be quiet. What's the point? My seichel is asking a question. Why should I ask a question?
So it's like you're not going to get in by just, you're not going to get it by looking, just come inside and...
Your question is not going to hit the reality. You're missing the point. You have to...
The question is not, you cannot possibly enter insight through this question.
And the shtok is like an invitation inside.
That's right. All about Shabbat, relate to it. And then you'll be on the inside.
Proper question comes when you're already on the inside.
But there's no question.
A question being discussed many times. The question is not the question in the sense that we are used to.
It's
Questioning.
not kasha, it's trying to get more in...
Yeah, okay, I see it. I say, how does that work? Like I said many times, I'm sorry, it's very late, but the question where the world is coming from is a folly question. What does it stand for? I said, Abraham didn't ask where it comes. Abraham asked, what is it about? What am I supposed to do here? That's a real question. The question is existence is stupid.
An outsider question.
It's not real. You're not
It's
part.
stupid. What is it for? What are you trying to be? Precede existence. What for? This is it. I'm sorry.
Sure. The bringing is in my house on Shabbos.
7:38, right?
Yes. What time? Regular time.
You define the time.
You're welcome.
la la.